Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. What if the moment that breaks you is also the moment you finally tell the truth you have been hiding? Because on the cobbles, Lisa's world doesn't just crack, it completely shatters. So, here's what's going down. After a brutal attack leaves Lisa shaken to her core, something inside her finally gives way. The strong guarded woman we have always seen, she can't hold that mask anymore. And in one incredibly raw emotional moment, she opens up to Carla. Not just about the trauma, but about feelings she's been burying for far too long. You know how Coronation Street always has just slow burning storylines where you can feel something building under the surface, even when nothing's being said out loud. This is exactly one of those moments, but turned all the way up emotionally. Lisa has always been someone who keeps her emotions locked down tight. She's built this protective wall around herself, and honestly, it's been part of what defines her. But after this devastating attack, everything changes. It's not just about physical injuries, it's the emotional aftermath that really hits her. The kind of trauma that lingers, that shakes your sense of safety, your sense of control, your sense of who you even are. And here's the thing, once all the chaos fades, once the noise dies down, and she's left alone with her thoughts, that's when it really starts to sink in. She pretend can't anymore. She can't keep acting like she's fine when she's clearly not. That strong front she's been holding onto for so long. It just collapses, and naturally, she turns to Carla. Now, Carla isn't just anyone in Lisa's life. She's been there quietly, consistently, always just on the edge of Lisa's guarded world. There's always been this tension between them. Not in a bad way, but in that unspoken, something is definitely here kind of way. You know the looks, the pauses, the moments where words aren't needed, but everything is felt. So when Lisa finally breaks down and opens up, it's not just a casual conversation. It's deep, it's intense, it's emotional in a way that changes everything. At first, Lisa struggles to even get the words out. You can almost feel the weight of everything she's been holding on. Every sentence feels heavy, like she's fighting against years of silence and self protection. She talks about the attack, yes, but it quickly becomes clear that this is about so much more than just what happened to her recently. This is about all the pain she's been carrying, the reasons she's kept people at a distance, the fear that's been quietly controlling her choices. And then it shifts, because suddenly it's not just about fear anymore, it's about love. Lisa admits that she's been holding back her feelings for Carla, not because they weren't there, but because they were too real, too risky, too terrifying. She's been scared of rejection, scared of losing what they already have, scared of completely changing the dynamic between them. And when she finally says it out loud, it hits hard. Carla, for a moment, is completely stunned. And honestly, you can't blame her. Sure, there have been hints before, little moments that made you think, okay, something's going on here. But hearing it said, that's different. That makes it real. And Carla's reaction is so layered. There's surprise, obviously, but there's also understanding, empathy, and something deeper. Something that suggests maybe she's been feeling it too. As they keep talking, you can feel the shift between them. That distance that used to exist, it starts to fade. And in its place, there is this closeness that feels almost inevitable. Like this was always meant to happen. They just needed the right moment to get there. But at the same time, it's not all simple or easy. There's uncertainty hanging in the air because now that everything's out in the open, they have to figure out what comes next. And that's not a simple thing, especially in a place like Weatherfield, where everyone notices everything and nothing stays private for long. Lisa, even after confessing, is still vulnerable, maybe even more than before, because now she is not just dealing with the trauma of the attack. She's dealing with the emotional exposure of finally being honest. And Carla, she steps up in the most beautiful, quiet way. She doesn't push, she doesn't overwhelm Lisa. She just supports her, gives her space, reassures her without making it feel like pressure. And honestly, that balance right there, that's what makes this storyline so powerful. As news of the attack spreads around the street, people start reacting. There is concern, of course, but also curiosity. And yeah, a bit of suspicion too. People start noticing the shift between Lisa and Carla, and suddenly their private moment isn't so private anymore. But even with all that external noise, the focus stays on them, their connection, their growth, their struggle to figure things out. And what I love is that the story doesn't rush anything. It takes its time. It shows the awkwardness, the doubt, the setbacks, because that's real. That's how relationships actually work, especially when they're built on something this emotional and complicated. As Lisa continues to process everything, she starts leaning on Carla more, not in a dependent way, but in a genuine human way. And that support starts to strengthen their bond, turning it into something solid, something meaningful. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Their past experiences, their insecurities, and the opinions of others all come into play. But instead of breaking them apart, these challenges actually push them closer together. And what really stands out is how this moment, the confession, doesn't just change Lisa. It changes Carla too. It makes her reflect, question, and really think about what she wants and where she stands. As all of this unfolds, you can see the ripple effect across Weatherfield. People notice, dynamics shift, new tensions build, and suddenly this one emotional moment starts influencing everything around them. By the end of it, what you are left with is a storyline that's not just about romance or drama. It's about vulnerability, about healing, about what happens when you finally stop hiding and let someone truly see you. The storyline hits hard because it taps into something incredibly real. It shows how trauma doesn't just affect you physically, it breaks down emotional barriers, sometimes forcing truths to the surface whether you are ready or not. And in Lisa's case, that truth completely reshapes her identity and her relationships. It also highlights how vulnerability can be both terrifying and transformative. Lisa risks everything by opening up, and while it creates uncertainty, it also creates possibility. That's the beauty of it. And let's not ignore the social angle here. In a tight knit community like Weatherfield, nothing stays hidden. So, this isn't just Lisa and Carla's story, it becomes everyone's story, with opinions, judgments, and reactions, adding pressure to an already fragile situation. Honestly, this might be one of the most emotionally authentic storylines we have seen in a long time. It doesn't feel forced, it doesn't feel rushed, it feels real. I love how messy it is, how uncomfortable it can be at times, because that's exactly what makes it powerful. Not every confession leads to instant happiness. Sometimes it just opens the door to a whole new set of questions. And that's exactly what's happening here. And Lisa, watching her break down that wall she's held up for so long, that's the kind of character development that sticks with you. So now the big question is, where do they go from here? Can Lisa and Carla actually turn this emotional moment into something real? Or will the pressure from everything around them tear it apart before it even begins? And what do you think Carla is really feeling right now? Is she ready to take that step? Or is she just as scared as Lisa? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I know this storyline has everyone talking. And if you are loving these deep dives into Coronation Street drama, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and stick around because trust me, the story is far from over.